Good, beautiful morning, everybody. Welcome to the Friday edition of Shortcuts for Your Soul. Today I have with me the energy of a group called the Ascended, who wanted to map out, in their terms, the understanding that there are only two paths facing humanity. One is the path of ascension, and the other is the path of stagnation. And it's really interesting that they are choosing these words because most of the time in the last 5 years, when they speak about the transformations that we're going through, that they've talked about their only two paths for humanity are love and fear. And that the functions of love and the functions of fear are very precise in terms of what words are spoken. Are they spoken from love or are they spoken from fear? What actions are taken? Are they taken from love or are they taken from fear? What thoughts we hold, are they taken from love or taken from fear? They said that the equation of these two diametrically opposite conceptions of being, love and fear, are the pathways to either ascension or stagnation. Love leads one towards ascension, and fear leads one towards stagnation. It's funny because when they were saying this to me, I also heard the words devolution. Ascension and devolution, that we either choose to elevate ourselves up or we do not. But those are the two paths right now, especially with the change. I don't know if you've noticed the last few days, I don't normally wear sunglasses. But the last couple of days, I've been finding myself wearing sunglasses because the extreme brightness of the sun. I don't know if any of you noticed, but it's very white. It's not yellow or orange as I remember as a child. It is this bright white light now. And the scientific term for that observation is that when a system that transmits energy through itself gets bright like that, there's a surge in current. There's an overload happening. When we were first told about this ascension process that's happening right now, where we have the choice to elevate ourselves up or to reset to, again, a former reiteration of ourselves based in fear, not based in love, that the energy coming into the planet affords us the freedom to choose either path. You can either choose to ascend your energy right now to a state of love and grace and compassion, or you can sustain and maintain your fear and your anger and your guilt and your shame and your judgment. There is a love that is what you are inside of you right now. Inside each and every one of you, there is a love that is who you truly are. The divine self, if you want, the angel self. And there's also this other self called the personality, the constructed individual based upon the environmental conditioning that you've experienced that restricts you to a structure called the personality. Being unaware or uninstructed on how you can shift your consciousness from the realm of the biology and personality to your divinity is the struggle that humanity is facing right now. We call that movement from the personality and biology to your divinity ascension, where you are able to deliberately and meticulously, under any and all circumstances, shift your consciousness away from the personality, away from the definitions of biology, to the function of your divinity, which recognizes and accepts what is as it is. It doesn't sugarcoat or candy coat or pretend that something is something it is not. Your divinity sees the truth. Love sees the truth. And humanity collectively right now is struggling right now between these two paths of ascension and stagnation. The structure of your personality, the structure of your biology are very fixed in what they do and how they can function. The biology was provided for you to gain the functional and experiential understanding of what you are as a creating intelligence on the pathway to divinity, while your biology simply offers you the impulsive, procreative aspects of sensational experience. That is, you experience through the five physical senses, and you interpret and base reality upon that exclusively, formulating beliefs and ideas from that realm of consciousness, which is predominantly survival based. Your body is predominantly based in surviving. Ascension is not based in survival. Ascension is based in creation. And many of you still find yourselves, and certainly collectively, humanity is struggling to make the distinction between survival and creation. With a handful very conscious of the ability to manipulate and orchestrate physical conditions, beliefs, and ideologies in this world, thereby restricting not only themselves but the rest of humanity to the stagnation of the personality, the limits of your mind, what you know, as opposed to learning to access information that you do not know. Your science is restricted to only what they can see, hear, smell, touch, and taste, for a good reason, that you would be restricted to simply remaining and perceiving yourself as a physical organism, as a structure of information, but not recognizing that you are far beyond that. How then do you move your consciousness out of the constraints of biology and psychology? That is your personality, the psychological structuring of information impregnated into your minds through your five physical senses, giving you the illusion that you are a particular individual with particular beliefs and particular likes and dislikes, disconnected from the broader spectrum of your divinity, which recognizes the function and creative nature of love versus the destructive and restricted nature of biology and psychology that is bound to the structures of them themselves. That is, your body can only do and be what your body can do and be, and your mind can only think and speak and act according to its nature. But you, the one that is capable of differentiating yourself from biology, differentiating yourself from psychological, perceptual, established conditions in your mind, and your divinity, this aspect of yourself that is not bound by flesh nor by mind, but liberated. Do not mistake the statement "not bound by flesh" to mean that because you are a divine sentient being, when you realize that you are, that you can somehow magically or mystically change the nature and quality of your physical organism from being what it is into something that it is not. That is delusionary. Your divinity functions exclusively on love. Your personality functions predominantly on survival, the polarities of pleasure and pain. And you want to find yourself liberated from the stagnation of your personality, and you run around in circles trying to change this thought and change this emotion within the framework of it, but never really getting outside of the box, so to speak. Unable to have a system of information available to you that will let you step outside of what you know into what you do not know, to observe what you are being and thinking from a perspective of awareness, and not from the perspective of subjectivity to that information. Practically speaking, the beginning of your ascension begins at the moment you begin to question the nature and source of the thoughts and ideas that you hold in your mind, the beliefs that your environment has established on you. That is what your five physical senses have taught you to think and believe is true about this world exclusively. And yet there's clear evidence to sustain and support the idea that you cannot be burned by fire exists, that fire cannot burn you if you have the correct and proper training, that the freezing cold cannot freeze you if you have the proper understanding and training, that there are rules of consciousness and energy not available to the personality, but that are available to you if you so incline yourself to awaken to such a state that you can orchestrate the functions of your mind and body to be subservient to you rather than you to them. And the vast majority of humanity right now remains subservient to the structures of personality and biology, unable to step outside of them, seeking to define yourself exclusively by biology and personality, which has simply led to more and more confusion, more and more conflict, more and more uncertainties. You have these two pathways. The personality, the biology, will cause you to stagnate or exist only within the framework of that reality. And as a human being, you are not like the animal exclusively bound by the experience of the five physical senses, such as the higher primates, the chimpanzees, the dogs, the cats, the whales, the dolphins, these other creatures who delight in the experience of the senses and have no cause to question or doubt the function of that. You made a choice in your consciousness to go beyond the five physical senses, thereby creating a condition of perception outside the framework of the five senses, and that you can observe what you were experiencing, you can question what you were experiencing, you can even change what you were experiencing by this mechanism of thought. You can change experience by changing thought. And in that moment where you began to utilize thought as a function of creation, as an awareness, you began to recognize yourself as an awareness, independent of your thoughts, independent of your memories, independent of your emotions. And who are you that is able to do this? Who are you that is able to observe your thoughts, observe your emotions, to observe your biology, to recognize that it is a mechanism that follows and executes commands of information that you provide to it, as equally as you can react and respond to its stimulations from the environment. If something is a certain way, the body will react, and you can respond to it as it can respond to you. But you are independent of it and operating it at the same time. You are both within it, but not of it. And you begin to question, who am I? That is observing my thoughts. Who am I that is aware that I have certain emotions? Who am I that is aware that I can change this organism to do and be certain things? And your journey of ascension has begun. And you have these two choices now. The energy is coming into this world to favor creation, as it always has, as it always does on all points of time and space and interdimensional realms. The function of creation is a universal function. Ascension being that movement in consciousness that allows you to recognize you can induce changes in time, space, and matter as a function of creation. And that there are qualities of that would be deemed beneficial and qualities that would be deemed not so beneficial. And so you have these energies coming into your planet right now that give you the opportunity to elevate yourself to a higher manifestation of creation, or remain subjective to the impulses of your body, or remain subjective to the beliefs in your mind, most of which are not even yours. Both beliefs and biology can limit you to themselves. Only you can liberate yourself from the enslavement to mind and body, repurposing them in the function of creation, the betterment of yourself and the betterment of others. It is available to you right now. These energies will enhance and improve whatever you will bind yourself to. And by that, we mean simply that if you choose to hold on to the illusion that the body is the way in which you define yourself, or that the beliefs and ideas are the only way you have to define yourself, then that will be multiplied and amplified. And if your suffering is based on your beliefs, then your suffering will be amplified. And if your joy is based on your beliefs, then your joy will be amplified. What you hold and harbor in your mind and in your body and in your words and actions, these will be amplified. It's what energy does. When it goes into a system, it adds onto the system. So you have these two choices, ascension or stagnation. Stagnation has resulted in your many civilizations rising and falling, the same thing occurring again and again over many, many millions of years, contrary to your modern sciences, which because of the limitations have a very short spectrum of perception of time and space relative to what is available in the physical dimension exclusively, but we can assure you there are realms of information, some of which you call the Akashic records, where you can peer back for tens of millions of years into the humanoid mystery of this planet and begin to observe that civilizations have chosen to reach this pinnacle of consciousness, but relegated themselves back to the beginning point again, often, too often. And now you find yourself again in that unique position where you get to choose between ascension and stagnation. And there have been many individuals from your species throughout the centuries, throughout the millennia, that have gone beyond this realm and joined us and many others in other endeavors of creation. The journey is both an individual one and a collective one. Ultimately, the individuals that recognize the distinction between who and what you truly are and what your mind and body is, many of these individuals often leave this dimensional realm, never to repeat or replay what is occurring here in time and space, going on to something a little bit more exciting than the familiar same stuff, different day. Another civilization rises and falls, another millennium, 1,000 millenniums, 10,000 millenniums passed again, and again a civilization rises and falls, repeating the same cycle again and again. And yet, numerous individuals in those cycles have left this dimension, coming to the understanding of who they truly are. Who are you? Who are you really? To say that we are this body that we communicate through is not accurate. We use this instrument as a mechanism of communication, just as you use your body. You use the body you're in as a mechanism of communication. It's not who you are, but it's the mechanism that facilitates this communication, or your communication with others that are also using bodies to communicate to you through. And then the informational system of knowledge and experience you've acquired through your physical mechanism becomes a second layer that you can, again, recognize that you are not the thoughts, you are not the memories, you are not the emotions. These are systems of information you've acquired from experience that allow you to gain a different level, hopefully, another perspective of self-awareness that allows you to realize you are not those things, but you can utilize those things as a function of creation. Oftentimes, what you call your masters leave this dimension not because they are abandoning you or ignoring you, they simply have outgrown the confines of believing they're a limited system of information and matter, as there are many dimensions of experience and time and space available to all of you, and you are experiencing but a very small spectrum of a vast scope of experience. Time, space, and matter are but one sliver of an infinite spectrum of being and doing. And the moment you begin to question your mind, that is, what thoughts you have in your mind or why you are doing the actions you're doing, the moment you begin to question what is the real motive behind why you are doing what you're doing, why are you sitting on the roads in front of cars? Because somebody gave you a belief that one thing means something or another. You've had civilizations that have used fossil fuels many hundreds of times. You do not understand that this is a regenerative system you're in, just as your body is a regenerative system. This planet is a regenerative system. It goes through its cycles as you will go through yours, even in a single lifetime. But until you question why you are saying and doing what you're doing, what is the origins of what you say and what you do? Where did you get your ideas and beliefs from? And are they truly towards ascension or stagnation? Do they promote a higher expression of yourselves? Or do they cease to perpetuate the debilitating effects of conflict with one another, your actions harming others because of erroneous beliefs that have not been questioned? And many of you remain in a system of erroneous beliefs, saying and doing and being in such ways as to sustain and maintain the stagnant nature of your civilization. The power structures of rich and poor, of happy and sad, of healthy and unhealthy. These are not new to the humanoid civilizations that have existed on this planet. They're the same thing, repeated once again here. And each and every time a civilization has fallen and a new one has emerged, the same opportunity presents itself that you may choose to elevate yourself, or you may choose to remain in a place of stagnation and suffering. The choice is exclusively yours, both individually and when any one of you begin the process of elevating yourself away from subjectivity to what you've been taught to believe or know. And you can begin to evaluate your thoughts and actions independent of the influence of others and say, is this an action that is going to take me closer to the manifestation of love? Or is this thought and action going to take me or keep me into the manifestations of fear? Are these actions going to bring about a greater union between myself and others? Are these thoughts and actions going to separate me, fragment me from others? Until you begin that process of self-questioning, then you will remain in the cycle of what you are remaining in, as each of you have your own variations on the theme, at least those of you that have not come to the place where you question the nature and source of your ideas and your beliefs, which are the wellspring of your actions and what you do in this world. And until you question the nature and source of your thoughts, your ideas, you will simply remain in the same cycle of what you remain in right now. But the energy, whether you acknowledge it or not, the energy to elevate yourself up or to maintain the confusion and uncertainty that has resulted in the fall of many civilizations is available to you irregardless. Individually and collectively, you may ascend your energy to a function of love, or you may continue to continue in the familiar power structures of polarity that this dimension often keeps you trapped in. But the moment you begin to question the thoughts and the actions that you're engaging in every day and what the source of those thoughts and actions are, you will remain bound by the confines of them if they remain unquestioned. And some of you have gone through this for many lifetimes, expressing and experiencing the same events and circumstances again and again and again, ad nauseum for lifetimes, repeating triumph and tragedy in the realm of this physical world. And yet there's a triumph beyond the polarity of these in the movement of ascension towards your divinity, towards your function of love, towards your understanding that you are a creator. You are made in the image and likeness of a creator that made this world in which you find yourself, made in its image and likeness with the opportunity to become as it is, as equally as you might become as your mother and father of this world are. But that which made you in its image and likeness was very clear that you would have the opportunity to become as it is, because you are in its image and likeness. You are a creator. And every word and every thought is a function and assertion of that capacity to be a creating intelligence. And many of you find yourself stuck in the cycle of the same thoughts and emotions and memories again and again, unable to get out of it, but not unable once you become aware that you are not your thoughts, you are not your emotions, you are not your memories. These are facets that are utilized in the function of creation while in this physical dimension, but that you are able to modify, change, add, subtract, edit, or delete thoughts, ideas, actions, thereby changing the function of creation, giving yourself an experience beyond what you currently know. But until you begin to understand that you can modify and change thoughts, you will not come to the experiential reality that you can also modify and change emotional energy, which in turn modifies and changes the experience you have with this environment, as emotion organizes your experiences in this environment. We came very specifically today that you must become very aware that what is happening energetically on your planet has happened many times before, with only resulting in a handful of you actually getting out of this cycle, this loop of repeating the same stuff in a different lifetime or a different civilization or a different earth. Our goal today is to equip you with at least the rudimentary information that you can begin to question why you're thinking and saying and doing what you're doing, and does it create a better life for yourself and others? What is your function of creation? Because you only have these two paths: ascension or stagnation, love or fear, unity or conflict. In every thought and every action you hold in your heart, there are only those two possible outcomes: love or fear, ascension or stagnation. And if you continue to simply expose yourself to the same sources of information again and again without evaluation, then you'll experience the same thing again and again, as information must change for expression to change, for energy to change. So these are your two choices. And in these coming weeks, there are many of you that have the opportunity to catapult yourself out of the subjectivity of your mind and body, your memories and your emotions as they are now, into a state of consciousness that will reorchestrate mind, body, and emotions to function in greater alignment to your divinity rather than your personality. Question your thoughts, their source and their origins. Where did your thoughts originate? Where did the idea of your actions originate? And where did the thoughts and ideas that were given to you by others, where did their thoughts originate from? Because you are by nature the origin and orchestrator of creation. When you begin to realize you can change and modify your thoughts and thereby change and modify the energy, the emotion that creates the experiential reality in which you find yourself, then the beginning of freedom starts. The beginning of freedom begins when you realize, I am not my thoughts. I am not the thoughts they tell me I am. I am not these emotions. These emotions are products of thoughts that others have given me. Until that line of introspective evaluation begins, you will remain trapped in the cycle of thoughts and memories and emotions that drive your actions. And again, most of those thoughts are not even yours. Most of the thoughts in your own minds are not even yours. But you are independent of them and can select and choose that I will accept this thought, I will not accept this thought. And you may accept the right thought or the wrong thought. You may accept a thought that takes you to ascension, and you may accept a thought that takes you towards stagnation. You are free, moral agent, to choose what you will think or not think. And that freedom of choice is what determines whether you will ascend your energy or you will stagnate for many lifetimes and many civilizations subsequently. But there are many that are waiting for you with welcome arms, that live in the realm of ascension, that live in the realm of creation, deliberate creation, that will welcome you as you open your consciousness to the truth that you are not your thoughts. You are not even your body. These are instruments that you use in the process of learning that you are a creating intelligence. That certain ideologies restrict and limit you to biology, that certain ideologies can restrict and limit you to biology, and you remain stuck as a body, believing that the body is who you are. The body is not who you are, but it is the instrument that you have to learn to discover that you are a creating intelligence. And you think that by modifying biology, you are modifying your spirituality. You are not. You're simply modifying biology. Spirituality must be activated consciously. It is a function of creative consciousness that says, I am not this. I am here to learn the function of creation. And you are here to learn the function of creation, not to be determined by biology or psychology. These are not to determine who you are. They are what they are, male and female, they are. And each one affords you a different understanding of the function of creation. One and both are the bearers and creators of life in their own unique way. And you cannot remain defining yourself by biology and expect to achieve divinity. Biology is of the world, of matter, of time, of space. Your divinity is of creation. Those who have fully realized their divinity go on to create planets and dimensions and galaxies and universes. When one understands the true nature of the function of creation, they transcend subjectivity to one realm and move to a different realm of effective creation. And while there are only a few that may hear these words for what they are and what they mean, that few are well worth the time, the effort, and the energy that we would take to come and join you here, that some might hear. But each and every one of you, in the essence of what you are equal in nature, in potential to become a creating intelligence, to not remain subjective to the functions of senses driven actions. That is the fight or flight, the fear mechanisms that your body has in order for it to survive before you awoke into it. You're able to transcend the functions of survival and move towards the realms of creation. And we will continue on this journey of providing this information in the hope that you will awaken further from the slumber that you have been in, bound by time, space, and matter as the only defining platforms of your existence, when they are simply the vehicles, the instruments through which you learn to define your function of creation. Time, space, and matter are for you to learn to define your function of creation and how you can create, how you can affect time, space, and matter. And as we've said, there are numerous individuals over many civilizations that have realized this truth, that you are a creator. You are a creator. You can orchestrate changes and transformations in time, space, and matter. You may do so. Thank you. I will leave it at that. I know those of you on TikTok are getting all the background noise. That's just the way this device works, and I love the sound of the birds. It's a wonderful thing. I want to thank the Ascendant for being present with us today. It can't be said any simpler than that. So watch what's going on with the sun in the next 4 or 5 weeks. The energy coming from the sun is a different type of energy than our biology is. But as an awareness, as a soul, you can integrate these energies through love or through fear into your body. So everybody's doing it. Whether you're aware you're doing it or not, you're doing it. The energy is coming in. It's either going to come through the mechanisms of what you have in your mind, or it's going to come through the mechanisms of your beliefs, right? Your ideas, your thoughts. And your actions will be determined by the thoughts and beliefs and ideas you have. Again, I'm paraphrasing now, but please understand, these next few weeks give us all an opportunity to either ascend our energy up, to move closer to love, to move closer to creation and unity, or to remain subjective, to remain subjective to our bodies, to our separateness, to our conflicts. So be ready, folks. There's some coming tonight here around the world. We're going to be getting a little blast tonight, and in the next few weeks. Get ready. Hold on to your hats. And if we, as individuals and as a collective, can integrate this energy more in the spectrum of love than in the spectrum of anger and fear and conflict, there's going to be a remarkable transformation and change, not only in yourself but in humanity collectively, which can open the door to, again, the different beings that function on other dimensions that want to interact with us, not just the ascended, but many other beings, and what they call the Galactic Federation, which is a composite of many civilizations scattered across many galaxies, some of whom understand how to manipulate time and space so effectively they can move across light years in the blink of an eye, simply understanding time, space, and gravity coordinates and how they work together as a magnetic and repulsive force. Very, very exciting stuff. But they want to join and interact with us, but the frequency, we're not of that frequency. It's like you're listening to your radio and you want to hear a certain song, but you have to tune into it. You want to hear your guides, your angels, you want to get information and knowledge as you're getting right now. You learn to tune your consciousness from fear to love. You learn to shift your mind and your body out of that survival state into a creation state. And then you start to hear, and we can collectively do that. And there are numerous groups and people around the planet right now that are actively working on ascension, that are deliberately and intentionally saying, let's elevate ourselves out of survival towards love and creation. And so many people, they say, get caught up in physiology, that how your body is what makes you good or not good. No, your body is only an instrument. It's not who you are. Your body is not who you are. It's the instrument. It's a learning instrument. They tell me that again and again and again. Our body is a learning instrument. It's not who you are. And if you change the instrument, well, you're going to change the way it receives and transmits information. But a lot of people are trapped in the body is who I am. The mind is who I am. No, your mind is not you. Your thoughts are not you. They keep telling me that. And I'm articulating frustration as a personality right now about it. But they simply say you are not your thoughts. You are not your memories. You are not your emotions. You have thoughts. You have memories. You have emotions. You can change and modify them and change the function of creation. But I have a great hope for humanity, that we can shift our collective unconsciousness from fear to love. It's why I have begun these transmissions these last 5.5 years, in hopes that the information that they give us, we can individually and collectively move past our own limitations. And we all have them. I certainly have them as a personality. They don't have them the same way I do, right? Anyway, let's see if good morning, everybody. How you doing? Good to see everybody here today. I hope you enjoyed their message. It's a wonderful day. I'm just looking at messages now. When the transmission, I've just learned when the transmission happens, let the transmission happen. Then I can get your questions afterwards, and let's see what comes through for you. Again, when you ask a question here, your own good morning to you too, darling. When you ask a question, you get a small amount of information. Keep in mind, when you ask a question, you open a door to a realm of information that's beyond the scope of that single question. So keep that in mind if you want to explore more of what is beyond the question you've asked. Because I can tell you many times people come into a reading and they ask 10 questions. They have 10 questions pre-written that they've designed themselves. Oftentimes they'll ask a question and almost all the answers will come through by asking one question, because that's the nature of a quantum consciousness, that these beings, they're not limited by their by body or personality in the way that we often are, can provide you with a wealth of information to transform and change your life in profound ways. And so keep that in mind when you ask a question here. Thank you for that super chat, Bogumila. I really appreciate that. Good morning, Serge. Bogumila is asking, yesterday, my daughter's dog, Willie, was put to sleep. He was very much loved by us. Was his passing easy for him? He says it, again, I'm only transmitting the vibration I'm receiving from that consciousness, which is saying it was very easy for him. Very easy for him. Do not tell your daughter, he does not want her to make, this is simple. The animals are very simple in life. Do not let her be disturbed. I don't want her to be bothered. Let her be happy. That's part of the reason why it was his time to leave, so she could be more happier than she was. Yes. But it was very, very easy for him. Please tell her. It was very, very easy for him. It was difficult for her, and that's why it took the time it took for that to unfold the way it did. But that was the way that they felt it was easiest for her to realize that she needed to let go into something else. He's saying, I'll see you next time. It's saying, I'll see you next time. So tell her that. It's wonderful. My brother just had surgery. Hi, Tina. Will he be okay? Yes, he will in the short term. He has not. I'm being told to tell you, Tina, although he's dealing with the physical effects, he has not dealt with the cause of those physical effects that precipitated this physical manifestation. It's important that you understand that things that happen in the flesh often happen in mind first. The underlying emotional elements need to be evaluated carefully by him so that the emotion that was removed, try to remove your emotions from your body that you have not taken responsibility for, you will try to cut it away or drug it away. But you must learn the process of transforming and transcending emotional energy, not simply trying to cut it away or drug it away. These are only temporary measures for healing yourself, or at least putting out of mind the discomfort that these long-standing emotional conditions, which he was holding on to, have precipitated in this result. Wow. Thank you so much for that. Ah, wow. Can you connect with my daughter that passed last week? Yes, Julia. I know you guys, I want to do something for everybody here that's got a loved one that you want to connect with, because you can connect with them. That feeling you have in your heart that you think is the ache of their loss is not the ache of their loss. It's the ache of your denial of their presence. And I know it sounds very strange, but when someone leaves the physical dimension, that they just don't have a body, they don't have physical words, they don't have physical touch to communicate with you, but they still remain as an energy connected to you and you connected to them. And when you so right now with your daughter and you with your mother, because I can feel you both, I want you to sit and close your eyes, take a deep breath, and as you exhale, allow the body to relax. The most important thing is to get the anxiousness out of the body. So get the body to relax. By relaxing the body, you're going to liberate your attention away from the body, because the body is missing them, right? But they're present with you right now. So get the body relaxed. Use a few breaths and get the body to relax. Then close the eyes. And then I want you to keep breathing slowly. Keep giving the body permission to relax. And then allow yourself to feel the energy around your body, how your body feels, how the energy around your body is feeling. And then turn to your daughter or your mother or your brother that you think is gone and ask them to come into your space. Ask their energy to come into your space and be aware of what shifts or changes in the space around your body, because it'll be unique to each of you in the way they'll present themselves to you. They can only connect you in the way that they're able to. We teach this in our Masterclass 101, where you learn how to connect to your loved ones, your guides, your angels, the beings that are here to work with you. And just sense what change in your space. As you speak or think their name, ask them to come closer and feel what changes, right? Because they're energy. They are not a physical being anymore. They are energy now, though your loved ones, even Bogey Miller, your daughter's dog, is not a physical dog anymore, but their energy will be present with your daughter. Your daughter will actually feel their presence around her for a while. And again, our loved ones do the same thing. They can be present with you energetically if you can learn to shift your perceptual apparatus from the 5 physical senses to the realm of energy. Thank you for that. I really appreciate it. William, what is my body trying to tell me, please? This is a question that's, when I want to say, first of all, I want to say how grateful I am for those of you that ask questions, because you offer other people the gift in your answer. And this question this person's asking about, what is my body trying to tell me? One of the things they taught me, my guardian angel John, Master Jesus, and others have taught me about the body can only communicate to you in a limited way. It can communicate to you through the mechanisms of pain or pleasure and sensation. It can also communicate to you in symbology. It can send pictures to your conscious awareness you can perceive. But the body only has those 2 ways predominantly of talking to you, through pleasure or pain. And it communicates to you in these fashions to let you know that it needs something, or that it is is wanting something. So if the body's in a state of joy, it's telling you it feels good. If the body's in a state of discomfort, it's telling you there's something that's causing it discomfort. That's the only way the body has of telling you and communicating. Like a little baby can only communicate to the parents through crying and different types of crying at the level it's at. So your body can only communicate to you from the level it's at. So if the body's in a state of pain, it's telling you that it's something is hurting it. That something that's hurting it can be a thought, because somebody can think a thought and create fear in their body. But you can also be exposing your body to certain chemistry, certain foods, certain situations that cause it to feel what it's feeling. You may also be holding on to old emotions from your past that are stored in your body, and you haven't released those emotions, so they're stuck in there. Someone asked about their brother being in surgery, and one of the pieces of information I got that I didn't disclose is that he's harboring old emotions and keeping them trapped in his body, hasn't known how to release them. The body, when it stores emotion long term, then creates symptomology, and it usually goes through a process of a psychosomatic. You feel something, but nothing's apparent. And then eventually, after a period of time, that which becomes psychosomatic can become a functional illness if the emotion is not released from the body. So what your body's trying to tell you is there's certain qualities of memory and emotion that need to be liberated from it. That's what I'm getting for you directly and specifically. There's certain qualities of memory and emotion that need to be released from the body, right? If you want to learn how to do that, sign up for our upcoming Masterclass 101, which starts in about 5 weeks time, pardon me. Go to my website, williammichaelforbes.com. You will learn so much about what you are, what your body is, what your mind is, how to connect to your guides and angels, because they have information that you do not. A lot of the information that comes through me is information that I'm receiving. Aldous Huxley, a really incredible writer, in one of his books, I think it was called Island, makes a statement that the brain does not produce consciousness, it transmits it. I really like that statement. Thank you. While channeling, you said beings leave this dimension. What does that mean? Yes, okay. So what they want me to tell you is it literally means that an individual recognizes that they are able to orchestrate transformation and change effectively over time, space, and matter. That they no longer need to learn from this dimension of experience. They have mastered it. Jesus is a good example of that. Buddha is a good example of that. Yogananda is a good example of that. Many of the mystical rishis, Alan Watts was a quasi-master of that. They're those beings that recognize I'm not my body, I'm not my mind, I'm a soul, move into realms and spectrums of information that move them away from needing to repeat the learning here. Once the lessons are learned here, that you realize I can create time, space, and I can change time, space, and matter, which you do all the time. How many times have you been excited about something and time changes for you? So those beings that leave this dimension have learned how to create. They recognize I can organize, transform, transmute, and change time, space, and matter. So they move into different dimensions of experience. That's what I mean by that. That's what they mean by that. I'm experiencing memory loss relatively young. Why is this? And can I heal? I'm being told to tell you, Jenny, that part of that is due to something that you're exposing the body to that's actually interfering with it. And I'm getting the word aluminum. You have some form of aluminum toxicity in your body. There's also an element of mercury, I'm being told, that these things actually inhibit the synaptic function of the biological system, but you're also simultaneously trying to access realms of information beyond what you know. So memory isn't as important. When you move into the present moment, memory is not as important, because the present moment includes all points of time and space if you're truly in it. That's why Jesus says the kingdom of God is here and now, because it's in the present moment and embraces all points of time and space. That's a quantum state of consciousness, and that's a possibility too. But if you want, you can book a reading with me and go into great detail about it. And learn a few things along the way. Good morning, Lauren. Hi. Hi. Unconditional pure love is so much more than just a feeling. I passed away and was in a coma for 3 days when I was 19, and the love there felt so different. It was pure. It was beyond describable. And I have always said, up until now, that was just a feeling that could not be felt here. It just dawned on me that this is so incorrect. I am that love. The love is a way of being a living thing, not just feeling. I bring that being here when I live fully consumed with that love. I am the love. That's beautiful, Shelley, and it is absolutely the truth. I'm getting goosebumps just reading that. Thank you so much for that gift to us. You are love. When you come to that realization, that's your true nature, that you are love, you start to transcend all the things that restrict and limit you. Thank you for sharing that story. Sometimes we have to have extreme experiences to liberate ourselves, don't we? Hi. Am I meant to publish my book? Yes, you are. Why would you believe otherwise? Don't depend on a big publishing company. Start sharing it out. You are meant to do what you are meant to do. You choose. You are a creator. What they were saying earlier, you are a creator being. You came here to learn the function of creation. You didn't come here to be subjective to your body. That I'm just a body. I'm just a boy. I'm just a girl. Your body's the instrument through which you learn creation. But you think if you change the body, you're going to feel more you. No, you are not your body. Your body is simply an instrument for acquiring knowledge and experience to let you know who you really are. Right? Learn this. But that's really wonderful that that you're getting that. Yes, you're meant to publish your book. Absolutely. Yes, there are steps you can go through to make it more effective. You're welcome, Shelley. Can I hear from Jacob? Yes, of course you can, Star Bernice. You just need to quiet your mind down. You need to understand every one of you has the capacity to tune into your guides and your angels. You have that ability in you. You are not just a body. You are not just the content of your mind. You can shift your perception beyond the structure of mind and body and move to other realms of perception. Students learn this in our masterclass series when the masters teach us in these classes. They learn how to shift the perception from body self, from mind self, to self-awareness. And in that realm, you can begin to access different frequencies outside what is known to you only through your mind and body. You get to access different realms. So you can connect to Jacob. Come take our masterclass. It starts in about 5 weeks' time. And learn how to connect to yourself, who you are as a spiritual entity, how to connect to your guides and angels, the beings that have information beyond what you know and have learned from this world. This world can only give you what this world has. But you can shift your perceptual consciousness from this realm to others and acquire information and knowledge not readily available to you. It's a wonderful experience. I can speak firsthand from it. My life has changed tremendously in these last 5.5 years, having access to information and actions and knowledge and wisdom that I did not own previously. Now it's given to me. I can ask and receive, right? Jesus talks about this. John the Baptist talked about it. Ask and you shall receive. But you have to learn to shift your perception from the body and the mind to these other realms of information. Come on out and join us. Hi, guys. Yes, you will get the shells. So what is the pain trying to tell me? Am I missing minerals or holding emotions? It's not an either or there, it's an and. There are certain things your body can only tell you that it needs something or it doesn't need something. And the body's communication with you is very limited to what the body is. The body's a sense-based organism. I love this. Now, understand what you're hearing through me is information that's coming to me and being presented to you in regards to your questions. You can learn to gain access to this information, but for you specifically, And for people generally, your body can only communicate to you on the level that it's at. Your duty is to learn what it's telling you it needs. If you're eating things that are poisoning your body's going to get sick and it's going to tell you. And what people do when the body starts to get uncomfortable, what do? They go out and they get a painkiller from the doctor or an anti-inflammatory rather than taking the necessary responsibility for giving the body what it actually needs. They deny or defer the discomfort by subverting it or never exploring what the body's trying to tell them. Your body's trying to talk to you in the only way it can, through sensation, right? There is a training that they've given us in our masterclass series where they have taught people how to go in and ask the body to present them with symbols or images of what it actually needs. And we've had students who have successfully mastered that process of being able to get information on a different level from the body than just sensation, and have gone on to change their bodies and the conditions of their body. Yeah, we are all in a process. Hi, Amanda. Thank you for that. Good day, William. I had a vivid dream of going up a snowy mountain. It felt like a different planet. Can I have a message around this, please? God bless. Ascension. Amanda, you are doing amazing. That's wonderful. Ascension is the word they're giving me to give you. Ascension. The mountain is a metaphor for your soul to realize you are reaching the pinnacle of this portion of the journey that you're on right now. And you will begin to see and know and hear things very differently. You know the vibration of what you felt, how much more you could see, and that you were not affected or inhibited by the cold nor the climb. You are free to climb now. Wow, thank you. I like that. Charlie's asking, do these that are demons and put on an illusion of being human or have a human? There are demonic forces on this planet. And there are angelic forces on this planet. Unfortunately, most of the demonic forces are in positions of power, which is why things have gone very dark over the last 10 or so years. But not because there's something wrong with humanity. There's this growing energy coming into the planet. We call it ascension energy. And whatever you hold in your mind and heart is going to be amplified. You hold love in your heart, it's going to be amplified. You hold anger in your heart, it's going to be amplified. It's really that simple. You hold joy in your heart, it's going to be amplified. What you hold in your heart and mind, these ascension energies are going to amplify it. And the collective unconsciousness of humanity is now out on display for all of us to see, the darkness and the light of our humanity, the evil of it and the good of it. Laid out before us, blatant for all of us to see, the distortion and the confusion, the nobility and the wonder of creation. These energies are non-discriminatory. In other words, it's just this energy can be used for either love or fear, for creation or destruction. And you are free individually and collectively to decide what you will choose. Is that not wonderful that you have the freedom to choose? The body you are in is temporary. The soul you are is eternal. Would hydrogen water be good for me? Thanks, William. Absolutely. Very important. For you, yes. I can't wait for the Masterclass 101. I'm looking forward to seeing you there, Jenny. It's wonderful. Please go register today. You will learn and experience things. It sounds so simple, Masterclass 101, but it's an intensive learning program in ascension and spiritual mediumship, where you learn the science and the practical experiential practices to employ in your life to activate your other perceptual apparatus. The 5 physical senses are not all you have to perceive reality with. I heard this really fun thing the other day from a gentleman who said he held up a word. I wish I could do. Anyway, held up a word. When you're thinking in your head, whose voice is that in your head? How can you hear your own voice in your head? It's not a sound. Why can you hear a sound in your head without your ears? because you're not your body, you're not your mind, you're something so much more than that. And our Masterclass 101 will put you in direct communion and contact with who you really are as a spiritual being, helping you to differentiate yourself from being subjective to the body and the content of your mind. It's not just a simple little course. This is an intensive learning process of learning to remember who you are, to begin to have authority and autonomy again over your mind and body and not remaining subjective to them, and learning how to get in touch with the information and the knowledge that you need to be the architect of a new change in your life. Because so many of you are repeating the same stuff, going over the same stuff again and again, and it's not because there's anything wrong with you. You just have to learn how to access different information and different potentialities that contain within you. Go to my website, williammichaelforbes.com. Sign up. Join us. Ascend your energy. Become who you really are. Don't be just a meat sack or constrained to the boundaries of the information that the world has fed you into your mind. You are so much more than what you've been taught to believe. You are so much more than what your body allows you to perceive. Your body is male or female because it is, but it's not who you are. A lot of people get confused between who they are and what the body is. There's no confusion when you know and feel and experience yourself as you truly are. Anyway, it's 3 weeks of very intensive learning. And we might have some students here may even make a comment about the course, but it's a fascinating thing. Hi there. Yeah, I'm looking forward to you being there too, Kathy. Thank you so much. It's going to be a lot of fun. We have students that repeat the courses quite regularly and go to very different levels of experience. It's wonderful. Thank you. So I look forward to seeing you there. Yeah, we're starting our Masterclass 104 in about a week's time, which is our advanced level program on transcendence. And for those of you that are here, you would need to have, if you have already a good working knowledge of mediumship and you know you're not your mind, you know you're not your body, you're in the process of creation, then transcendence would be a course for you, because it's about literally moving to a realm of creation of pure energy. Again, it's you can only understand what I'm saying at the level that you're at, and I understand and appreciate and respect that. But quite simply, when you know you're not your mind and you know you're not your body and you know you are a creator, then there's a different realm of learning that can happen for you that's not based in the 5 physical senses. Transcendence is about that. So demons, yeah, they are here right now. But they, again, so are angels and archangels and ascended masters, divine beings, the Pleiadians, the Lyrans, the Blue Avians. Many dimensional shifts are happening right now. Many dimensions are crossing. And there's both good and not so good. But you get to define what you're going to align yourself. It's like if you tune into radio station 104.5, you're not going to hear or see 104.9. What you tune your awareness into, that becomes your experience. If you turn your awareness into love and creation and compassion and kindness, you'll start to see your world take shape in that format. Thank you. Hi. You're very welcome, Shelly. You're very, very welcome. Yeah. Wonderful. Okay. We're going to see there. I see visions and interact with the wind and the rain. Any advice for me? You need to take our Masterclass 101 or book a reading with me at the very least. Either one of them, you will gain the knowledge and information that's essential to you, because you're having these experiences that are outside of what you normally experience, and you're now wondering, what is this? And the reason you're wondering what that is because you know there's an answer. You know there's a way to comprehend and understand that in a new and unique way. So come, get the answers. Book a reading with me. Again, you can do all that through my website, williammichaelforbes.com. Or if you're on YouTube or TikTok, you can use the Linktree link in my bio or below any one of my videos on my YouTube channel, and you can get to book a reading through there or register for courses and classes, or even just leave a tip in the tip jar to support the channel. It would really help us out here. Thank you so much. Yeah, it was a beautiful story from her. I just published my book last summer. All right. That is all right. Don't be afraid to promote it. Will I ever get the shells? Of course you will. Oh, and thank you for the spice latte. I really appreciate that. Ian, developer, medium, and cerebral palsy woman. I'm not certain what that means. So I am sharing experience and story. Yes, you are. You certainly are. Hello. What angel cards are best for the Masterclass 101? For those of you that are taking the Masterclass or already registered, any of Doreen Virtue's angel cards. We prefer not to use tarot, but any set of oracle cards that, remember, what we use, oracle cards do not have mystical properties in and of themselves. Oracle cards, the practices we have in our Masterclass 101 are teaching devices to entrain you to activate your internal senses: clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, claircognizance, which are the 4 non-physical senses that correspond to your 5 physical senses. These internal senses, when you learn to use cards to activate these senses, those 4 senses let you perceive the invisible world of information, while your 5 physical senses allow you to perceive the visible world of experience. Most people are stuck in the perceptual apparatus of the 5 physical senses. In our Masterclass 101, we recommend oracle cards as a device to help activate in your internal senses so you can open up to the different realms of information. But yeah, any of the oracle cards, Doreen Virtue, Kyle Gray, there are others too, will be very useful for you. For those of you that are registering or planning on registering, make certain you do have a pair of oracle cards, a set of oracle cards that will help you to use that as a training device. Oracle cards, Ouija boards, pendulums, all divination tools are not meant to have mystical properties themselves. By nature, they were only to be used to train you to activate your internal senses, to not be dependent on external mechanisms, but to train the internal systems through the use of those mechanisms, which is what we have been instructed to do in the master classes. That's what they've told me and the other mediums that we are to do, to help people to activate the internal senses using those as learning devices. So yeah, any oracle card like that. I'm never sick or tired or weak, just live in fear that I've had too easy a life. Never be too afraid of... Dave, listen to me, Dave. You need to go into service. You need to go into a function of service. You're blessed. You're blessed. And you can teach people how to gain more money and more, but teach people to awaken. Teach people to return to love. Because I know having things the same way a different day can be kind of boring. But your fear is not because your life is too easy. Your fear is because you might fail to execute your divine function. That is what your fear is, that you become too comfortable and you do not know what your divine function, that is, what is your function and your being here amongst humanity. Why did you come into that incarnation? What did you come to learn? What did you come to offer humanity? You need to come to that understanding. You came here to offer something to humanity. You need to come to an understanding of that now. Wow. I don't know who that was, but they certainly love you very much. He says he's been at you for a while. The fear will keep increasing until you accept responsibility. What do trees give us when we hug them? It's a balancing. It's not what trees give you. It's what happens to the two of you. There's an exchange of energy between you and the tree. In our Masterclass 102, we call it grounding, where you electrically, your body and the tree's body, electrically balance each other out. Trees help you ground really effectively, as does the earth. You can put your bare feet on the earth and get a very similar effect. With trees, you can go into the consciousness of a tree, like a giant sequoia that's been around for hundreds of years, and you can experience its experience of that period of time. It's a very fascinating thing. I've gone up to different trees, and if you hold them, other than the grounding aspects, you can actually communicate energetically and have them share their knowledge and experience. And a pine tree will give you very different energy than a birch tree, a maple tree, or a poplar tree. Different trees have different experience and different knowledge because of where they're positioned in time, space, right? Everything learns from its perspective of existence. And trees are really wonderful for gaining knowledge. The older the tree, the more you can learn from it. The younger the tree, you can learn different things from it, right? They're not that different than us trees. Oh, thank you guys. I really appreciate the likes. How did you start on my journey? Thank you so much. The conscious beginning of this journey that I'm on right now started about 5.5 years ago. My journey, the first time I ever heard one of my guides talk to me was when I was about to jump off a bridge in Toronto called the Bloor Viaduct. And as I was putting my foot out to fall off onto the highway below, a voice spoke to me and said, "Stop, get down off the bridge." And I pulled my foot back and I'm looking around, and other than a couple of cars honking their horns at me, there was nobody there to speak to me. And then it said, "Go to the payphone on the corner, ask for this man, he'll help you." That's when my journey began in earnest. When I began to suddenly break out of my personality, that voice, who I now know as my guardian angel John, has been with me ever since. And he helped me. And I've devoted my life to helping people ever since that event. And I didn't know from then until 5.5 years ago that I was being guided by him and guided by Archangel Michael and guided by Master Jesus and Buddha to say and to do things that I didn't even know I could say and do. And it's only been these last 5.5 years that I've really realized, what I'm here for, and that I'm a spiritual medium to bring the wisdom and knowledge of ascended masters, other multidimensional beings, to humanity, to help us shift our collective consciousness from fear to love. Anyway, it's a wonderful journey, and everybody has the capacity to hear, to see, to feel, to know beyond what your senses tell you. But it's an amazing journey. I encourage you to take our masterclass series. When you open up to realize you are not alone in your life, that you have authority and dominion over your thoughts and your emotions, and that you can learn to change your energy. And it's not a difficult, complicated process. It's very simple, easy to follow steps that they've taught me, and they teach others through me, how to activate yourself, to wake up from the sleep of your mind and body, to become a loving master over your mind and body, to no longer feel like you're a victim to your mind and body, but to learn to transcend yourself. It's a wonderful thing. Thanks for asking the question. But the journey is still going on. It's been going on for many lifetimes with me, but this lifetime, that moment was a real game changer for me, having my guardian angel John speak to me for the first time. And then the people that were brought into my life, because at that point, I did not think much of myself, right? I was ready to jump off a bridge. That's how little I thought of who I was. And I'm certainly glad I didn't. And for those of you that are in a similar position, I can assure you there's something greater wanting to assert itself in your life, and you need to connect to that higher aspect of yourself. Your mind and body can only give you what they are. And most of what's in your mind and body isn't yours. It's from your TV and your news and your schools and your educators. Most of what you have in your mind isn't who you are. And so many of you have a false understanding of who you are. Many of you have a false understanding of who you are because of what you've been taught, what you've read, what you've watched on TV. So many of you have a false understanding of who you really are. If you could even glimpse the incredible wonder and beauty of what you are, you would not be so afraid to go on the journey of awakening. You would not be so afraid to let go of the limits of your personality. Right? You are a divine entity. You're very welcome. Rebecca, if you just came on, I would highly encourage you to go watch the original transmission from the Ascended from today. When this video, when I finish this live today, the video will be posted upon the group wall. And I think I'm actually running late here, folks. I better check to make certain I'm not running late on some things. I do have a live event that I'm supposed to be doing. It's the closing of our Masterclass 103 today. And I've got some wonderful students. We're all going to get together and sip and have a cup of tea while we liberate ourselves a little further from the limits of our personality. I'm so grateful that you're all here today. And I really do look forward to see you guys tomorrow at 10 a.m. for the meditation segment of our weekly show. All I can say is much love to you. Do not stay stuck in the limits of what you've been taught to think you are. You're not what your thought thinks you are, a soul. Yeah, I do understand that. So yeah, remember to go to my website, williammichaelforbes.com, sign up for Masterclass 101, which is coming up in about 5 weeks. Again, so many questions here. If you have a question that you must have answered, use the Linktree link on my bio on my TikTok channel, and you can send a little tip and ask a question, and I'll answer your question. You can also book a half-hour or 1-hour reading with me, or you can sign up for our Masterclass series and learn to awaken yourself to who you really are and not stay stuck in the confines of what you've been told to think you're supposed to be. I want to wish you all much love and have a wonderful and a joyful day. And to my students, we will see you shortly for the closing of the 103. Have yourselves a wonderful and a joyful day, everybody. Bye for now.